Welcome to Fear Consortium, your sanctuary of terror. Before we begin, hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell, because once you enter, you won't want to miss what follows. Take a breath and prepare yourself. There's a place in western Michigan where the air feels heavier the closer you get. Not colder, heavier. As though the atmosphere itself is pressing down on your chest. A place where the woods don't simply surround you, they encroach. Tree branches arch inward, roots break through the soil like exposed bones, and the sounds of wildlife seem to fade the moment you step off the path. And at the center of it all, stretching over a slow-moving stretch of Cedar Creek, is a narrow metal footbridge. The locals call it Hell's Bridge. It lies in Algoma Township, just outside Rockford, Michigan. By daylight, it looks old but harmless. Rusted railings, creaking metal grates, barely wide enough for a single person to cross comfortably. But when night falls, the bridge changes. Those who approach it after dark say the silence becomes unnatural. No insects, no frogs, no wind through the trees. Just the sound of your own footsteps echoing far louder than they should. And the overwhelming sense that you're not alone. One local man recalled crossing the bridge just after sunset. He said halfway across, the forest noise stopped instantly, as if someone had flipped a switch. He described the silence as pressurized, like being underwater. He turned around to leave and realized the bridge felt longer than it had moments earlier. Long before ghost stories were whispered among teenagers and paranormal investigators added Hell's Bridge to their lists, the land itself was already steeped in rumor. The most disturbing legend tied to the bridge traces back to the 19th century. A man known as Elias Frisk. Historical details about Frisk are scarce. Some believe he was a recluse who lived near Cedar Creek. Others claimed he was a drifter who settled briefly in the area, never truly accepted by the surrounding community. What most versions of the story agree on is this: Elias Frisk was feared. Parents warned their children to stay away from the creek. Farmers claimed tools went missing. Livestock wandered off only to be found days later, mutilated or drowned. And then children began disappearing. At first, authorities dismissed the incidents. Runaways, accidents, wild animals. But the pattern was impossible to ignore. Children vanished without a trace, and nearly all had lost, seen heading toward the woods near Cedar Creek. All near the bridge. One woman, now in her 70s, claims her grandmother warned her as a child, "If you hear someone calling you near the creek, no you didn't." The warning wasn't playful, it was absolute. The legend claims Elias Frisk lured children to the area under the guise of offering shelter, food, or small jobs. The rushing water below the bridge, they say, masked the screams. Some versions of the story insist the children were drowned. Others suggest something far worse. No official records ever confirmed the murders. No arrests, no trials, no bodies. And yet, the stories persisted, passed down through generations, growing darker with each retelling. Some locals believe Frisk was eventually confronted by townspeople after one child nearly escaped. Others say he was chased through the woods toward the bridge, where he either fell or leapt into Cedar Creek below. But the creek never gave him back. What happened next is where legend becomes nightmare. Visitors to Hell's Bridge report sudden drops in temperature when they reach the center of the span, even on humid summer nights. Breath becomes visible, skin prickles, the air feels thin, as though oxygen itself is being pulled away. A group of college students visiting around midnight reported that as soon as they stepped onto the bridge, one member began crying uncontrollably, without knowing why. She later claimed she felt small, like a child again, and couldn't stop shaking until they left the area. Many claimed to hear voices, children's voices, soft laughter, whispered words, sometimes crying. Sounds that don't echo, because they aren't coming from the woods or the water, but from somewhere closer, somewhere below your feet. One man recorded audio on his phone while standing on the bridge. Later, when listening back, he heard a faint child's voice say, "Help us." He insists no one heard it in real time. Some witnesses describe shadows clinging to the underside of the bridge, their shapes vaguely human but stretched and distorted, as if they're struggling to form. Others report seeing a tall, motionless silhouette standing at the far end of the bridge, watching. Always watching. And when approached, it vanishes. A local teenager claimed he waved at the figure once, only to feel a sharp pressure grip his chest, forcing him to his knees. His friends dragged him off the bridge, and the sensation stopped instantly. But the most chilling accounts come from those who cross Hell's Bridge alone. They say if you stop halfway across, if you stand still long enough, the bridge seems to hum. The metal vibrates faintly beneath your feet, and then in a calm, unmistakable voice, something speaks your name. Not screamed, not whispered, spoken with familiarity. One man reported hearing his childhood nickname, one he hadn't used in decades. Another claimed the voice sounded exactly like his younger sister, who had passed away years earlier. Paranormal investigators have documented extreme EMF spikes the moment they step onto the bridge. Audio recordings capture voices that weren't heard at the time of recording. Cameras shut down mid-shot, batteries drained from full to empty in seconds. Compasses spin wildly. Flashlights flicker. Some investigators report sudden nausea, dizziness, and an overwhelming urge to leave. An instinctual panic that feels imposed, not internal. One investigator reported feeling a small hand grab his wrist while adjusting equipment. No one was near him. Red marks appeared within minutes. Almost as if the bridge resists observation, almost as if it doesn't want witnesses. Today, Hell's Bridge still stands, still narrow, still rusted, still tempting fate. Thrill seekers visit late at night, daring each other to cross, to stop in the middle, to call out into the darkness. Most leave laughing, a few leave shaken, and some leave convinced they brought something back with them. Several locals claim strange occurrences began after visiting the bridge. Children's toys moving on their own, unexplained knocking at night, or the sound of running water where none should exist. Those who've lived nearby the longest rarely cross the bridge at all. They don't need proof. They don't need recordings or photographs. They say some places absorb what happens there. They hold on to pain. They remember. And Hell's Bridge remembers everything. You've reached the end of tonight's descent. If what you heard followed you, you're not alone. Be sure to subscribe and stay close, because the darkness never rests, and neither do we. Until next time, keep the lights on and trust your instincts. This has been Fear Consortium, where the fear never truly fades.